Hello and welcome to today's 3-pile pick reading. So this is for anybody that picked Feihu. So if this is pile number 1, if you picked up pile number 1, then you have the rune Feihu. And this rune is all about abundance. It's overall wealth. So that doesn't necessarily mean in terms of money. It could be whatever you've been trying to manifest in your life. It's a sign that things are starting to be heard, be seen, and working in your favour. So it's quite a fortunate rune. If you already knew what that rune was and maybe you picked it because of that reason, then maybe you're following your intuition here. If you didn't know what that rune is, then there you go, it's called Feihu. So we're going to have a look at the cards then that were in your pile. And I will tell you that you are the only pile that had 2 love cards. Now this isn't necessarily a reading about love. My intention here was for it to be about finding a deeper love within yourselves. That's not necessarily a connection with somebody. It might be a love for a project or something that you want to manifest in your life. It may be that you just need some loving kindness right now, some guidance within yourself. So I'm going to go through first of all and look at the first card we have, which is your moon card, which says trust on there. So I do believe with this card, what it is suggesting to you is that perhaps it's taken you a little while to trust that you can achieve what you want to achieve. I feel like you've been burning the candle at both ends here. Perhaps you have been working very, very hard towards something, and you're coming to a point where actually it's, you're thinking, oh, is this ever going to take off? Is this ever going to happen? Am I just putting too much effort and energy into this and I'm not really seeing any reward? It's a sign not to give up right now, because it's almost like that milestone just before the miracle happens. I'm going to tell you about the other morning for in bulk when I was waiting for sunrise, and funnily enough, as I was waiting, it was so misty, and then as I was walking back down the hill, so the sun had started to come up, but it wasn't a mega sunrise. It wasn't until I got down the bottom of the hill and I was starting to drive home that the sun just suddenly came out and it was there. And I was thinking to myself, if I'd have just waited a little bit longer on that hill, I would have been there to experience that. So this is kind of like what this energy is for you. It's like just holding that little bit longer, because if you don't continue to wait for a moment, you're going to miss the miracle that's on its way to you. There is something big coming in for you that you've been trying to manifest, and you have to trust the process. You have to trust where you are with that right now. I'm going to just pick your chakra card, which is the throat chakra that you've got on here, and it says expansion. So this is you trusting that guidance that you're getting. Maybe you don't know where it's coming from. It could be spiritual forces, your guardian angels, your spirit guides, that are sort of helping you to expand, all the experiences that you're having, any communications that you've been having. Maybe communication is becoming different at the moment with people around you. You're being guided right now, and maybe you're beginning to realise that. You're starting to recognise, like, yes, I'm actually becoming who I want to be, and things are going the way that I want them to go. I can see you being given a bunch of flowers here as well, almost like a celebration. Maybe this is someone's birthday, or a well done, or a thank you that's coming in for you. It is a beautiful energy, and I feel like it's all being like there's a celebration around you. You are being guided towards that, and you have worked so hard. You definitely deserve it. So I'm going to have a look at your love cards, and then we'll start picking the tarot cards in a moment. So we've got treasure your loved ones. It's important to love others deeply. So I do feel like there are people around you that want to support you at the moment. They want to give you that love. I do feel like perhaps you're hiding your emotions here a little bit from people that actually can hold that space for you and give you that kindness. I'm feeling a lot of emotion from this, actually, where it's, there are people that really do love you and want the best for you. But sometimes you feel like you have to do it all by yourself. You have to, carry the burden, or just continue on your own right now. Maybe you're feeling a little bit hard on yourself. And it's about that trust. You've got to allow yourself to, you know, realize like it's not all on you. Stop burning that candle at both ends. You know, you're using up all of your energy. It's time to allow others to carry some of that weight for you now. You know, if there's nourishment that needs to happen here, I feel like perhaps you're not eating properly or not drinking enough water, not looking after yourself. Maybe you've been feeling unwell, but you feel like you've got to keep going to get something done. And it's time perhaps to really be grateful to those around you that are giving you that love and encouragement. You know, please do think about that. If you, I mean, you might feel like, yeah, I do. You know, I'm really grateful for the people around me. You might be grateful for them, but you're not letting them in fully. You're not allowing them to help you in the way that you really do need it, and they can see that you need that help. I have like attracts like. If you long for more love, be more loving. So that again goes with it as to sort of, at the moment, you are plugging yourself into, it feels like work mode at the moment. Like everything is about your job or a duty towards something. And maybe that is a distraction for you from something that is painful right now, or that you are avoiding love for some reason on here. And there's like an inner child energy on this as well, where it's sort of like the little girl, it's like Russian dolls really, holding the little girl on there. Maybe Russian dolls hold some kind of significance for you from a childhood, perhaps. But it's that kind of going within and going deeper into what it is that who you are, what you like, what you want. I do feel that this perhaps resonates with you finding out about yourself a little bit more. Maybe there's been a mirror held up to you to show you some aspects of yourself. Sometimes it can feel like when you're trying to develop into, and that's the expansion card as well with this, when you're trying to develop into a better version of yourself or a different version of yourself, sometimes we can neglect the actual essence of ourselves that make us who we are. And those can sometimes be the things that people actually we like about each other. And I think with like attracts like, this is about connecting with people that are on that similar path to you, that actually they feel comfortable to be around. You know, like they might not be perfect, they might not be what you would expect in your life, but actually, you know, the way that they are is making you feel more comfortable about yourself. And that's what you're looking for here, is that sort of abundant feeling. And abundance doesn't necessarily mean like, everything's shiny and brand new. Sometimes it can feel more like comfort. And people that make you feel comfortable, they're your people. So like attracts like. And it's saying if you long for more love, be more loving. So it's sort of like, maybe the loving is about bringing that love to yourself. So if you want that on an external level from somebody else, then perhaps start giving the love that you want from another partner into yourself. Give it to yourself. So those are your cards on there. We're going to pick some tarot cards to go with that. So I do feel that this is along the lines of things that you are doing that are work commitments, but there does feel like the element of family around you, but you're keeping yourself a little bit isolated here. Yet there's a part of you that is coming into an expansion. You are maybe starting to bring a truth out. So some cards just flew out of the pack. Okay, so we have the King of Swords, but it's in reverse. So I do feel like there's an energy of control here, or wanting to be in control potentially of certain situations. Now, this came out with the Four of Wands as well, which is kind of like where there's something that, well, it was in reverse. They were both came out in reverse. So there's an element of, I do feel like you're trying to have that control over things going on in your life right now. Perhaps you're a little bit too in your head and you're not seeing the love that's around you and the things that are going on around you. The Four of Wands in reverse. So when it's the right way up, this is usually telling of celebration and excitement. So I feel like there's an element of you kind of, with this trying to be in control of everything, you're kind of holding yourself back from the excitement and the enjoyment and the fun. And Feihu is trying to bring that for you. It's trying to bring that abundance for you. It's like, what it's saying here is, you don't need to try so hard. You do not need to become something in order to attract what you're looking to attract in your life, because it's actually sucking all of the fun out of you. Something in your life is sucking all of that energy out of you. You are, I do feel, perhaps quite an intellectual person. You know a lot of things. You like to impart your wisdom and perhaps maybe challenge other people's beliefs potentially. But when you do that, sometimes it can come off as like being arrogant, and people can sort of take a bit of a step back from there. So I feel like you're not having much fun at the moment. You're not really enjoying yourself right now, which is interesting because we have Feihu as your governing rune here. So it's sort of like, what is that? Why aren't you enjoying yourself at this time? What is sucking that fun away from you? Why are we not enjoying? Why is pile number 1 not enjoying themselves at this point? Okay, we have another chunk of cards that flew out the pack again. Interesting. So we have with this, the Queen of Wands. Now the Queen of Wands can be about where we are fearful to take a risk. I feel like there's something about this where, with the King of Wands in reverse as well, it's kind of like your passion is waning here. You kind of like, you're feeling so depleted at the moment and trying to be in control of your thoughts and everything that's going on there, that it's sucking all of the passion. There may be a little bit of jealousy going on here as well, where the sort of, if you're seeing other people enjoying or having fun, maybe that's making you feel a bit jealous. Or bothering you in some way, but there's something holding you back from really taking a risk, from finding this abundance and this joy in yourself. But I do feel like things are about to change on that, because maybe from this reading you decide to take a chance. Maybe you decide to take a bit of a risk, because we now move into the energy of the Seven of Swords on here. Now, the Seven of Swords, this can be where you kind of like feel like you just want to run away. It's almost like, you know, you've something's attacked you here. Something has made you feel like you're not good enough potentially. It is the energy of like a lone wolf as well. So perhaps you enjoy spending time by yourself. Maybe you feel like you don't deserve to have this kind of love. What did we have before? Treasure your loved ones. You know, it's almost like you appreciate the people around you potentially, and you long for more love, but you have this energy about you that just wants to run away, that perhaps has a bit of a struggle with being fully committed with things. And this isn't just in relationships, it may be with work as well. You know, you are being guided. I keep going to pick up Feihu. It's like you are being guided to see the abundance. Something is trying to push to the surface with you, to expand within you some joy, some enjoyment in your life, some fun. I do feel like we really need to bring some of that in, but it's almost like you feel like you've done something here, like you've made a mistake, or there's a dishonor that's happened here. Like you feel like now you need to flog yourself almost to improve things. And maybe just maybe, so you see like the light that's coming down on here, well, that's the moonlight. So I'd say since the full moon, actually, the full moon kind of illuminated these things for you, something hidden within you that you're perhaps working on right now. Maybe that's why you're running away from something or trying to get away from something, is so that you can really truly think about it, because there is this want for love. You're longing for that, and you do treasure your loved ones. And I do feel like naturally you do see abundance in things. You see things as an opportunity to be happy. But something's happened here that's made you feel like you need to be on your own and you need to think about things. But the energy coming from that is the Ten of Cups. And I love the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is kind of like it's an energy of finding that wish fulfillment. It's the energy of peace and joy and contentment. And this is what you're working towards. So where like with the Queen of Wands and the King of Swords in reverse, you know, where there's this wanting to have control over things and your passion kind of dwindling away, not having enough fun, you are moving towards a time of peace and fulfillment. And what it is that you would like to manifest, you do have the ability of bringing that through. But I do feel like you need to calm down a little bit on stop burning yourself out with the things that are going on for you, the things that you're doing in your life, because it is burning you out majorly at the moment. You're doing too much. Maybe you're not feeling very well. Maybe that is kind of like the energy that's coming from here. So there's a lesson coming. There is a guide. It might come through actually discussions with somebody where somebody says something to you and they make you realise what you're doing. And maybe that's coming from this particular reading, or maybe you've had plenty of readings and they've all been saying the same thing. There is some form of enlightenment, I feel, through the words of somebody else talking to you. And that might be that they kind of are a bit like, well, what are you doing that for? Why don't you just do this? And maybe you never thought you could do that. Or maybe it seems so obvious when somebody else says it, rather than where you've been stuck in your mind or being quite lonely about this, so you haven't had anybody else to bounce these thoughts off. And this is where it comes to, you know, allow yourself to be surrounded and supported by the people that really do love you and want to be there for you. You know, Feihu is not just the energy of wealth in terms of money, it's wealth in terms of relationships and commitments. And I do feel like there's a part of you that would like to feel that protection of love around you. You know, if you long for more love, be more loving. And maybe this person has said to you sort of like, well, are you reaching out for them? Are you showing them any love? How can you expect that person to give love to you if you're not really showing them the love? And they might be putting it on you as to sort of like, you know, maybe you need to be the bigger person here and step out and understand this. And that might just be these little stepping stones that reach up to that light. And I want to say what's coming through there is something like, if it's meant for you, it will be there for you. So it's sort of like, you know, if it's in alignment with where you are right now, it will meet you there. If it's not, then it won't. And I know you can't just sit at home waiting for things to drop into your lap. There's actions that you do need to take in order for bringing things into fruition. So let's see the outcome on this for you then. Because you do want that. I do feel like you do want that Ten of Cups energy. You want to feel stable. You want to feel peaceful. You want to feel some joy going on here. But to achieve that, it's allowing people in. It's allowing yourself to actually be around people. I do feel like the number 10 is relevant as well. So maybe that could be the 10th of this month as being something significant on there. Whether that's a birthday or it's some other celebration, something for you. So what is the outcome of this? I'll pick a rune as well for this one. So we've got, what card do we have? Nothing wants to come out. What is the outcome of this situation? So, okay, 2 cards have come out on here. So, okay, interesting. Okay, so I can't remember which way the Ten of Swords came out, but I think it came out this way around. And you're kind of it feels like this person's got their back to us. So normally the Ten of Swords would be the kind of energy where you're being the martyr, like you're trying to sort of suck it up, but in a way that, you know, you want that to be visible to people, but you're not allowing anybody to help you here. You're not reaching out for help or asking for help. And it kind of puts you in a bit of a victim mode. It's like you are starting to see yourself as this victim, almost. But this is, I feel like, with the person walking away, because like I say, I don't know whether this came out the right way or upside down, but I do feel you walking away. I do feel like with the birds here, it's like murmurations, you know, when there's loads of birds flying around. I feel like that's significant as well to something about this, where you're seeing patterns and things a lot. So I do feel like that's significant here as well. And that's all about, like, you know, alignment and being together and moving in the same direction. So it's almost like you need to let go of the control here. If you want to feel that love coming through, you want to feel that abundance coming through, there's something that you need to let go of. You're trying to control something here where it's asking you to actually let go and soften into the feeling of it. Soften into actually what the truth is of it, because as we said before with expansion, with your chakra card, it's blue, that's connected to the throat center. This can be about communication and truth coming through. So it's kind of like, you know, you need to trust yourself, be true to yourself. So I covered the word up there, didn't I? Trust yourself. You are burning the candle at both ends because you are trying to block something coming through, some communication with yourself, some intuition here. I want to say as well, we've got the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Now, this is normally, you know, when it's that way up, again, it's that holding on really tightly to something. So with it in reverse, it's about you kind of loosening that grip on the control here. But this could go, you know, you can either continue to try and hold this in and control it, but you're just going to feel much of the same, the burnout, the trying to distract yourself with things. And I do feel like that could spiral quite deeply into finding other things that are unhealthy for you, and dropping into a space that isn't good. So whether that's sort of like some form of substances and things that are, you know, just numbing that pain, numbing that feeling, keeping you in that sort of lone wolf energy, where actually you have an opportunity here to let go of that control. I do feel like this is to do with finance as well and money. And what I'm being guided on here is almost like what you're looking for in terms of love and what you're looking for in terms of financial freedom are kind of go hand in hand. You let go of one and both will flow better. It's allowing that flow of energy to come through to bring it out. So that's what you're working on here, is allowing that flow of energy to work. I'm going to pick a rune just to complete this reading for you. So let's see what we have for you on here as your outcome. What is the outcome for pile number one in terms of runes? Oh, okay. We have Athala. So this is a rune that when we're talking about things that we're talking about on here, this can be to do with a commitment. So if commitment's been on your mind in a certain area, whether this is taking on a new job or taking on a new relationship, it's kind of like a go ahead to go for that. It's very family orientated as well. So it can relate to being around people that love you. And it's like the home environment. It's also connected to inheritance as well. So I'm not saying that you're going to come into a lot of money, but there may be potential for something coming through for you on a financial level, because you've got Fae here as well, that could actually be what you need. But at the moment, because you're holding on so tight, you're trying to control everything, it's actually blocking that from finding you, from getting to you. So take a chance on yourself. Allow yourself to let go of that control. Branch out to the loved ones, the people that you know do have that space for you, do hold that for you. it's interesting because we've got, this is number 2, like attracts like, which that is the high priestess energy. So this is like intuition, following that intuition. Maybe you've been having dreams as well that you can't explain, or you're not quite understanding why. Perhaps you don't normally dream and they've been coming through. And we also have like number 10, which is like, you know, like a wheel of fortune kind of energy, which this is like an up leveling. This is kind of like being done with karmic lessons and things. So you've perhaps had an understanding about stuff on here. It's also connected to fate and change, and things starting to move around. There is potential for you perhaps going travelling with that one as well. So yeah, just allowing yourself to let go of that control. But this is a fortunate time for you if you allow it. So that is your reading for today, pile number 1. I do hope that you found that useful, and I would be grateful if you can like and subscribe to my channel, and comment as well. I'd love to know how that resonated for you and your comments. Blessed be. Okay, so we have pile number 2 now. So pile number 2, your rune was Rado. And Rado is an energy of movement. It's like the vehicle through life. So imagine it like a horse. You get on your horse and you decide, where do I go from here? I could go this direction, that direction, this direction. And with that, there is an element of following your heart's desire. So following where you're guided. This might be somebody that is about to go traveling, or about to go on some kind of adventure. A new journey is embarking with this rune. So let's have a look deeper into your cards on here. Ooh, okay. We have your moon card is regret. So there may be something on here where perhaps you're thinking back over things. So this is like, it's a bit like the 6 of Cups type of energy. It's like looking back over a past event. Maybe there is regret there. There may be guilt or shame, or a feeling of like you're recovering from something that perhaps you regret on here. But there's growth. There is growth attached to that. And there's lots of stars as well. So there's something, there's like it's actually thrown you into something fulfilling that is kind of hanging there in the balance, waiting for you. So you're kind of perhaps in a more fortunate circumstance now than you were, but there's this element of regret there. We have as well your chakra card, which is green, which is connected to the heart center, and trickery is your card. Now, trickery is an interesting story. So it's basically like where the dragon tries to trick the squirrel by putting, I think it's, oh no, the squirrel puts stones in the basket and just a few acorns on the top, and makes it seem like, oh, there's loads of acorns in here. And this dragon finds like 1 acorn or something. They want to do an exchange and they think they're tricking each other when actually they're kind of tricking themselves. So this may be an element of where you've been tricked by somebody. Perhaps you feel like you've been misled, and you regret being a part of somebody's life here, or you regret sort of being pulled into something. Maybe you've been doing a lot of work on yourself in terms of spiritual growth, and what you found is that you no longer entertain people that, you know, try and keep you in the old version of yourself, but sometimes people have a way of triggering you to bring out that version of you so that they can keep you where they want you, that sort of thing. So there's a little bit of that feeling of you feel like you've been tricked here, or maybe you're the trickster. Maybe you have acted in a way that you now regret, and it's made somebody feel they've been tricked, or, you know, perhaps somebody has expressed to you and that's kind of hurt you. It's hit you in the heart center because you didn't maybe realize you were doing that until that person sort of illuminated it for you, sort of like pointed it out. and it's basically do unto others as we would like to be done unto ourselves. And if you have been the victim of some ill will here, you just take a step back and think to yourself, okay, so I can't change how this person has acted towards me, but I can learn from this and not get myself into similar situations where I'm going to be in this position once more. So that is what trickery is explaining to you on here, but it's kind of been the catalyst that has thrown you into this new journey, embarking on this new journey, and that needed to happen. So let's not regret anymore, eh? There may be an apology that is due here, or perhaps you've apologised to somebody else, or you are thinking of apologising. Maybe there's an element of there needs to be something said or done here to sort of just clear the air for you to be able to move forward and embark on this journey. Now, your Lovers card, we have Love Endures. And it says, love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. Okay. Now, this is like the Chariot sort of energy. And it even looks a bit like a chariot, sort of like on a ship here, moving forwards. So I do feel like there's an element of somebody feeling like they're taking a wrong direction here, like things didn't go the way that you planned. And maybe that's where this regret comes from. It's like perhaps you're looking back over past actions and things and feeling like, that didn't go so well. But the Chariot has two different energies. So it's kind of like that, taking a wrong direction if it's in reverse, but also about taking action and having courage and bravery. And I do feel like maybe from the heart centre, this is about you having the bravery and the courage to put things right. If it feels regretful or you're feeling shame or guilt here, how can you put that right? What can you do to put this right? And sometimes that's not always the easiest thing to do, but it can be the most beneficial on your journey. It can bring more of an idea of actually, this is who I am. This is what I need to do. This is what is the right thing to do. So let's pick some tarot cards now to see a little bit more of a picture on this. So this person, we feel that love endures, does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. So I do feel like this is to do with potentially a past relationship. You feel ready to embark on a new journey, but you're not sure of what direction to take. There's something about a lack of direction here. Okay. We have the Hanged Man in reverse as well. So this is about perhaps feeling a little bit like stagnation, like things aren't moving. And it's an energy similar to pile number one, actually. It's an energy of like really rigidly holding on to something. And this isn't doing you any good to keep beating yourself up over something that you regret. What's happened has happened, and I always believe that things happen in alignment with where you are at that point and right there and then. But you can change things, and it holds this energy of like, it was very similar to Pond One, seriously, of being a martyr. It's almost like you're flogging yourself here. You're trying to say to yourself like, I regret this. You're kind of holding yourself back because you feel like you took the wrong turn here. And like we said, radar is very directional. It's about you get to choose the direction of your journey, and you are at this crossroads right now. But the Hanged Man is kind of like keeping you in the centre. You don't know which way to turn, and you're kind of holding on to something very rigidly. A thought in your mind is not actually allowing you to go with the flow and find that movement. So this is about you trying to find now, letting go with that heart centre. Let go of the regret, let go of the shame or the guilt. You don't need to carry that. Nobody is making you carry that but yourself. Nobody is bringing that for you. And this is about you. If this is about you feeling like somebody should regret the way that they've treated you, well, maybe, but if they're not coming forward with that information, then you can only assume that, you know, that person isn't ready. Therefore, you know, they're not meant to be in your life, then are they? Now this is the death and rebirth card that's just come out there. So this is like a fear of change, and it's almost like from your heart center there's grief there and there's guilt there, but it's almost like holding on to something for fear of maybe you're going to feel embarrassed, or maybe you feel like you're going to be laughed at, or it's not going to be taken seriously, or you're not going to be heard. Almost like, you know, you're stepping into a trap almost if you come forward on here. Because there's this energy with that love card that says love endures, love does not give up or lose faith, love is hopeful and withstands every situation. That's something that's come through on your cards for you, and it has that Chariot energy, which is kind of like, it feels to me like you feel like you've made a wrong choice. You've gone in a direction that actually you wish you hadn't, and I feel like you're reminiscing or thinking about, or perhaps role playing in your mind different scenarios of how a situation could have gone. And this death and rebirth in reverse, because of that thought, it's creating in you this fear of making changes. So it's holding you in a place, you know, like this Hanged Man in reverse. You know, it's, yeah, this is when it's that way up, it's like surrendering to something, taking a different perspective and allowing it. But this is stagnation. It's stubbornly, that way around. It's stubbornly holding yourself in a place where you can't move on. You cannot move forward. I can see somebody sort of like running their hands. I don't know if you've been working around water, putting your hands in the water or something and swishing it around. Maybe you've been thinking quite deeply on there. I can see swans with that as well, which they are to do with like soulmates. You know, swans, I think they mate for life, don't they? Don't they stay together forever? There's an energy around that I'm picking up from this as well. So let's see what you're going to do about this. I want more information. Okay, so currently you appear to be working really hard. So we've got the Ten of Wands energy on here. Now, you are finding it a real struggle. Things are a real struggle right now. And I do feel like this is in lots of areas of your life, not just in your love life, but I do feel it's perhaps you're overworking, overextending yourself a little bit, and it's blocking you from finding this journey, this true space that you need to go. You're feeling a bit burdened here, a bit weighed down with all this stuff, and you've got such a journey to take up here, you know, with very little resource, very little help. And I feel like you're doing this to yourself because of this regret, this feeling of like, well, I've ruined everything. Everything's all wrong. I've ruined it. Never going to be able to get that back. So I'm just going to flog myself now. You know, it's like the life of a sinner, that kind of thing. But we do have on here as well the Seven of Wands and the Four of Cups in reverse. So the Four of Cups in reverse kind of reinforces that energy of the Ten of Wands, where it's like you've withdrawn, you've gone in. This is apathy. So you're kind of just, yeah, it's quite sad, really. It's making me feel quite sad that you've just sort of, you've given up. The joy is gone. It's almost like you feel like all is lost. But actually, what you're not seeing on here is what I keep picking up with that Rado. You actually have a lot of choices. You have a lot of areas of making decisions and moving forward in things that you want to move forward in. You don't have to stay in this energy. You don't have to stay stuck here. But because of how you're feeling, you're holding yourself in a place of like, I can't move forward. It doesn't seem to be happening for me. And that's kind of a little bit too much absorbed in what's going on for you. Maybe, you know, if you reach out a little bit, take a journey, you know, take a step in a direction that feels wholesome for you, that feels good for you. Yeah, because we've got the Seven of Wands coming through on here as well. So it's kind of like, if you look here around the solar plexus, this is your personal power. And there's quite a defensive energy coming from this, where it's sort of like within you, there's a sadness, there's a feeling of being stuck, and you are reminiscing a lot and feeling like, you know, the direction that you thought you were going in hasn't worked, and you're regretting some of your choices, I feel, on here. But you're feeling a little bit angry about this, you're feeling defensive, and you're not really, it's like you're in your own little bubble, not really allowing anybody or anything in there. Now, you can use that energy for your benefit. You can turn anger into gentleness towards yourself, rather than it consuming you and making you feel quite tense and bitter. So you are clearly having this reading because you are sick of feeling that way, and you know that love endures. And I do think you haven't given up or lost faith in love. You are looking for healthy love. So let's see what's coming up for you then in the next week. Let's see what's coming up for you in this next week, because I feel like you are looking for some hope here. You need some hope here. This is what you want right now. This is what you need. So what is coming up for you in terms of love in this next week? Okay. Oh, they are so slippery, these two are. Excuse me. Right. We have a very slow moving energy. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Now with a Knight, again, they do go quite well with Rado because it's an energy of movement, of direction. And this is a direction that's quite slow, but it's stable and it's steady. And I do feel like you are moving into an energy of moving forward in a direction, very steadily taking those steps. This could be as well, if you are struggling financially at the moment, this is a direction of work potentially. So it's taking you into a different direction of what your work is going to be doing. So taking something that perhaps you are, it feels quite grounded, that feels quite stable and steady, and working towards that. As this person's walking away though on here, I do feel like you're walking away from something perhaps to do with money, but actually that's a good thing. You're stepping out of something that's been a bit of a hassle for you and moving into something else. Now we do have as well, because we were talking about love, weren't we, when we were doing this, we have on here the Sun, and this is like a wish fulfillment on here. This is like what your dreams are, what inspires you, and it's finding that joy. It's allowing you to feel like what you want to manifest is actually working for you. And it's not until you kind of step away from something to do with money that this kind of starts to happen for you. And I do feel like this is not just about, it's got the rune Sewillow on it actually, which, well, yeah, that makes sense because it's sun energy. Sewillow contains the sun energy. So it's also a healing energy that comes from Sewillow. So it's a divine masculine as well. So it's kind of like a real protective energy where perhaps if you haven't been feeling the joy, or you've been feeling this regret or remorse about changing direction or something, the wrong direction, this is kind of telling you that you never took the wrong direction. And I don't feel like what it is that you're regretting, I don't feel like all is lost there. You know, you have this choice with Rado as to what direction you want to go in, and what you're being guided by or asked is to choose what brings you fulfillment. You know, step away from what you think you should be doing, which I feel like is to do with monetary gain and stuff like that. Step away from those kind of things that are bringing a heavier energy for you, to like go from your heart, what makes you feel good? What do you need around you? So take the direction that makes you feel the most aligned with following the beat of your own drum. So you may need to sit for a while on that as to the different directions that are available to you and choosing the direction that suits you. So let me just see. So is this to do with walking out of a job and walking into something new? Does this person need to leave something? Okay, half the bloody pack fell out. Excuse me for swearing. Okay, I'm actually going to reshuffle those, but we do have the Fool on the bottom, which is kind of like taking a chance, taking a risk here, being free to sort of take a bit of a gamble on something. We got the Chariot energy on there as well, which is that, you know, it's kind of like take action and you may find that there's victory. You know, there's something fulfilling on there. Don't believe you did take a wrong direction. I don't think you should be regretting anything from the past. It all happened for a reason and you needed to see it. But it is helping you to move forward and change direction. It's helping you to understand that there is a change in direction that you need. And I do feel like you are looking for some stability here with the Knight of Pentacles. Ooh, okay, I'm going to talk about these ones. So we've got that Six of Cups energy as well, which kind of went with the regret card, which is, it's like reminiscing, it's thinking about the past, it's kind of looking at yourself in a way of like, you know, you want to do the right thing, you want to bring something good here. So it's like, yeah, you want to make things right. That's what I'm feeling, is you want to make things right, and you're going over and over things from the past because there is some regret there. You do want to make things right. Maybe this is reaching out to somebody you haven't seen for a while. Just getting that energy back with somebody. There's a lot of wishful thinking going on too. You know, there's disappointment, perhaps what it is that you're regretting. It wasn't what you thought it was going to be, and that's brought you some disappointment there, perhaps. But with these cups here, there's options. You do have choices. You don't have to look at it like that. You do have some options here. You don't have to be stuck in this one way of thinking, in this one way of energy. There was a lot of cards that fell out here, so I'm going to go through each one just for a laugh. So we've got having courage with strength. Have the courage. You know, you are stronger than you think. Follow your heart. You know, there's innocence here as well. I feel like if this is to do with somebody else or some other people, if you're worried about coming in with an apology or something and you're worried about how it's going to be taken, it's going to be taken well. If this is you waiting for an apology, I do feel like there's an element of lust with this, of like, you know, you kind of like maybe forming a little bit of an addiction around somebody here. When it does come to you, handle it with a way of sort of like, you know, just being very diplomatic about it. Try not to attach yourself too much on here. I do feel like the way you go about this journey, the way you go about your direction on here is going to say a lot about your character to other people. It's going to say a lot about you, and they're going to see you in this light of sort of like, oh, actually, they're being really honest, and, you know, people make mistakes. We have regrets. We have things that we wish we'd have done or not done. But it's when you know better, you do better. When you make those changes, you know, it changes everything. It's a good way of being. There is an opportunity for growth here as well. So we've got the Seven of Pentacles. This is a change in your direction. So basically, there's something that you need to assert here. And it's almost like, you know, how do you want things to grow? How do you want things to be? This is what you have to discern. This is what you have to decide for yourself. And there is reward from it. If you can reach into your heart, decide what it is you want, change direction based around this, regardless of what's happened in the past, it will grow. It will grow. You have the ability to change direction, to help that to manifest for yourself. Now there are things here that are telling me that are holding you back. We have the Queen of Wands. Has that already come out? I think that came out in the past reading actually. So this is kind of like, you know, having a bit of fear about taking this chance. Almost like you've got comfortable in being uncomfortable with yourself. You know, difficulty in being able to find the oomph to move forward. You know, you're kind of losing the ability to feel like you can move forward with a certain situation here. The Nine of Wands as well, you know, you do have stamina, you do have the ability to move through things. That passion is still there, what you are looking for, that light is still there. And the way you move now will suggest what you attract towards you, what you're bringing forward for you. You know, you've been here before. All of these wands represent things that you've been through. You've learnt the lessons from each one. So move that forward now in the direction that you want to go in. Now the Eight of Swords, this is almost like where we're keeping ourselves in a mentality that's sort of like holding you back, making you feel powerless or just confused really as to what to do. And that's what I'm getting from this, is like there's this feeling of regret or remorse, but then a feeling of like wanting to rush in, but then a feeling of rushing back out again, and feeling just really confused. And in that confusion, you're kind of just keeping yourself stuck. And Rado is desperately trying to get you to move, to pick a choice, you know, just do something. Because right now you're not, and it is holding you back. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse as well. So usually when it's that way up, this is clarity. You're not clear on the way forward, I feel, on this. You're not clear on where to go with this or what to do with this. And then it's followed by the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands is kind of like the conclusion. This is news coming in for you. This is communication. So I do feel like if this is you needing to communicate with somebody else to clarify a few things, that's what I'm feeling on here. It's almost like that's the direction to take. And with the Strength card on there, it's like have that courage, have that bravery to step forward and say like, actually, I think I need to discuss this. Or maybe you're waiting for this to come through from somebody else, but I do feel like it could possibly be you. And you may find just by saying one thing, it's cleared, it's sorted, and you won't feel that regret anymore, you won't feel that remorse, and you will be in a better position to understand where you want to move from that, where you want to take that. But there's definitely action here. And with that Chariot energy, it is very much that, you know, I do feel like you're being guided right now because you've been stuck in this energy for so long. You've got to move now. You've got to have haste and speed in this to get that conclusion, so that you can move forward, because this has been hanging over you for far too long and holding you in that place. So there is time now. You need to take action and get a conclusion. So let's pick a rune that is the overall energy of this. Okay. So if you take action right now, what is the outcome of this? Okay, we have Yera, which is cycles of natural growth. So it's almost like completing a cycle by taking action here. Yera is more of a slow moving energy. It's about reaping the rewards. It's about harvest. And it's like the Eight of Wands is all about that reward as well. So it's like, you know, you can bring that towards yourself if you are willing to take that action. You know, it's going to keep you in that cycle of natural growth, and things developing from that point. So I will conclude your reading there. I do hope that you found that useful. Please do like and subscribe to my channel, and I'd love to know your comments as to how that resonated with you. And I wish you a blessed day. Okay, so we have now pile number 3. Welcome. So this is your pile if you chose Willow, the energy of the sun. This is healing, this is intentions and manifestations. It's an energy, oh, it's a beautiful energy. It's like power and potential. It's a beautiful energy. So we're going to look at your cards now as to where we're going with this. Okay, so I'm going to read your moon card first of all. So we've got Illuminate. So I do feel like this is an energy of somebody that's been put in the spotlight right now. This is kind of showing you where you want to be right now. And it's like you are this shining star, this glowing light, this beacon that is in your intuitive power right now. You are potentially breaking through illusions around you, I feel like. There's detachment here as well. You are feeling perhaps like you have managed to detach yourself from things that no longer serve you, or you're in the process of doing that. And you're actually, it feels like you're in a fairly peaceful place on here. You are doing something, working with something, and it's putting you on in that spotlight. Now we do have the card for you, Workaholic, and this is from the throat chakra. So I do feel this is possibly career related or work related. You are on fire right now. There's a lot of communication going on, so maybe your job is to do with communication. Maybe you do something similar to me where you do a lot of videos, do a lot of talking, a lot of helping people, but it's kind of bringing through this energy of, you know, just balance that out a little bit, balance that center so that you are getting enough rest and you are doing other things in your life, not just work. So if you enjoy your job, brilliant, but it might be time to make sure that you are getting that balance and not just all about work. There needs to be perhaps a little bit of tranquility going on with this, a little bit of gentleness. And we have with the love, Whispers of Love card, have faith. Trust your faith in this situation. And we have this fairy with all these butterflies on here. So it's almost like, I do feel like you're feeling quite light at the moment. You're feeling like you're having a bit of a breakthrough. Things are going in your favour. But maybe there's this energy of, you feel like if I don't hold on to this tightly, then I'm going to lose it. So like you see, she's got this string with the butterflies on. It's almost like if I let go of this, then it's just all going to go wrong. And that's possibly why you're not allowing yourself to have any freedom here, any fun, any time just for you, because you are so fixated on keeping it all together. And it's beautiful what you're creating here, what you're doing. You know, you're flying basically. You know, you're bringing a lot of wish fulfillment in there. So I'm going to pick some cards to see where we're going with this. So I do feel like it is to do with career, to do with your work at the moment, or a project that you're working on. We have the number 3 as well, which is kind of like, you know, that can be about community and stuff. Maybe you're building up a community here. But I do feel like something has pushed you into this place of doing this. Okay. There's a little bit of so we've got the 7 of Swords, which is somebody doing everything all by themselves at the moment. And yes, there's a spotlight on you. It's like you are in this space where people are noticing you, people are seeing you, but you're kind of being a bit of a martyr about this. And I do see you being on your own quite a lot. It's like running away from other things so that you can focus on this one thing. So like constantly being about what you need to do. You know, just think about where perhaps there's other areas of your life that you're not really wanting to look at perhaps, and you're putting all your energy into your work, into your career, which is great, and it's going really well for you by the look of it. But there is this energy of, I feel like there's a little bit of a loneliness here. There's a feeling of being alone, doing this all by yourself. And I think that's been illuminated to you. I think that's been like highlighted to you. It's sort of like, actually, I'm here all on my own. So why are you on your own? What's that all about? What's happened there? Because you seem to be doing really well in one aspect, but you're feeling this loneliness. Why is number 3 feeling lonely? Why is number 3 feeling lonely? It's funny because your card, your lover's card, is number 3 as well, which is that. It gives me like 3 of Cups kind of energy, which is kind of like, you know, friendships and community and people being together. Okay, so we've got the moon. So this is illusion again, and again we've got moons everywhere. So we've got that illuminate, we've got the moon on there, which it is a moon card, so I imagine that's why. And we've got the 7 of Swords with the moon shining down on this person there, and then the moon shining down on this person here. So there's something that you need to face, a fear here, I think, that you need to face. And I can see, can you see the 2 wolves on the top there? There's a story about 2 wolves within you. And the story goes about, you've got 2 wolves. So say if one is anger and one is joy or something, it's like, which one are you going to feed? Or one is fear and one is happiness. The one that you feed is the one that is going to be the most powerful. So I do feel like there's an element here of perhaps you're working with something that's bringing you up, but in other areas you're feeling a little bit powerless and you're kind of consumed here. There's like a secret within you that's creating a bit of an illusion around you, like you're creating an illusion. Perhaps this is on social media, or perhaps this is with people in your life. You're creating this illusion of what you're actually feeling, when really deep down you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. You're feeling a little bit like you know, fearful here. There's fear there, but you're not sharing that. You're not allowing people in. The message there of having faith, so trust your faith in this situation. You are taking on this all by yourself by the look of it. You're not letting other people really know. You're just showing them the good bits of what you think they want to see. You want to be seen as on top of things and okay with everything, when actually I'm not sure that is the real situation. So what is the situation here? Why are you afraid? What are you afraid of? What is number 3 afraid of here? Where is that fear? What are you afraid of? See, it's so secret, you don't want to let anybody know. I do feel there is a secret here. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups. So this is about intuition and your emotional intelligence. And with the water on the moon as well, and the water on your Illuminate card too, you know, there is some emotional intelligence here with you. Okay, that's what the Queen of Cups is all about. This is that intuition and emotional intelligence. And I do feel like you are coming into a point where you can't hide this anymore. This is being revealed. It's being revealed to you, and potentially in time it's going to be revealed to those around you, and you're desperately trying to sort of keep it hidden and show this like limelight version of yourself, the version that seems to like sparkle and shine, when underneath that, see if she's like half under the water and half out, and this is all around her solar plexus, all around her personal power. It's kind of like you're keeping that hidden. It's like, actually I'm feeling a little bit afraid here. It's not worthlessness, it's like powerlessness. That's it. You're actually feeling a little bit powerless, like almost like you're okay at this point, but if the water goes up any higher, you're going to be struggling. You're going to feel that overwhelm. And this is because there's a secret deep within you that you are illusioning yourself about, trying to hide from, and it's like you can't get away from it. Everywhere you go, it's being illuminated to you for you to look at, for you to understand. And it's actually in line with you growing in your personal power. So it is worth looking at. And you are, with that workaholic card there, I do feel like perhaps you're plugging yourself quite a lot into your work to distract yourself from it, because that makes you feel like you're on track and you don't have to think about it when you're at work. So let's see, what is this fear all about for pile number 3? No way! We now have the King of Cups, which is about love and emotional support. I do feel like this could perhaps be a counterpart for you. There's something about love here. So I do feel like maybe the fear on this one is about, you're feeling alone even though things are going well for you in other areas, like with your work and stuff. I think you are feeling like financially better off. And you are transforming. There's something happening here with you, but it's kind of bringing you towards this alignment with a counterpart here. So if that was your question, if that's what you wanted to know about, was like what's happening for you in love, this is the secret. It's like, I feel like there's somebody that you are focusing on or thinking about, or trying not to think about, actually, with the Moon and the Seven of Swords. Nobody else knows about this either. So it's all within yourself. Maybe they don't even know about this. Maybe this is just what you know. So why is that? Why does this person not know about that? Because that is in such alignment, seriously in alignment. Why is it such a secret? Why are you hiding this from this person? Or from yourself even, or trying to hide it from yourself? Because again, we've got that number 3 on, 12 makes 3. So it's like this is about collaborating and friendships and connection, community, and in one respect you're making it look like you're happy just shining on your own, where deep down there's a secret. There is a secret in here. I think you secretly admire somebody. So tell us more about this. Okay, so we have the Knight of Wands. So this is about following your passion. It's following a direction that leads towards that love, that power, that passion, the creativity within you. So what brings you, it's like the beat of your drum. It's bringing you into that place of, and we had Sir Willow, didn't we, as your rune. So this is about intention. And right now you are in a period of, this has been illuminated for you. It's almost like the universe wants to shine a light on this, and for some reason you're shying away from it, even though it is your intention. What are you afraid of? There is something that you're afraid of here. Maybe it's rejection. Maybe it's to do with rejection on here. Shall we see? Okay. So if pile number 3 takes a chance on this situation, will it lead to rejection? Okay. So we have the 4 of Cups on here. And I do feel that there is an element of feeling perhaps intimidated here, feeling like it's almost like you feel with this King and Queen of Cups that this person you're thinking about, that you're not good enough for them, or that it's just not going to happen. So you withdraw, you go within because it's too much to think about, and then you go back into the Moon energy. That's sort of like, things have been illuminated but you can't look at it, and you'd rather sort of sit in the illusion there. But with this Four of Cups energy, it's almost like it's weird, like there's a hand coming through on there. So it's like somebody wants to give you their hand. I do feel that. So actually, in trying to not look at this and run away from this, you're not seeing that somebody is actually pushing a hand towards you. Somebody is giving you something on here. So it's almost like, you know, there's a lot of cups energy, which is that emotional intelligence. It's like, you know, and they both have emotional intelligence. It's quite beautiful, really. They both have the ability to be supportive and bring love and flow to each other as well. So it's, that energy is beautiful. And, you know, I think once you start to recognize that, so allow it this to look into the illumination, look into what you're seeing there. If you can prize yourself away from what you're doing here, the work wise. So this is, I think they're two prunes, and the one there is working away, and the older one is kind of like saying, you know, look, that's what I did, and look at me, I'm a wrinkly old I'm a wrinkly old prune now. You know, just do something else, not just that. Whereas this is sort of like, no, I'll just carry on doing this and stuff. It's like, well, you know, whilst you're doing that, the time is ticking, and you're missing opportunities. So being aware of that truth that's within you there, it's worth communicating that truth and taking a chance, see what happens. There is an offer here. There's an offer coming for you. Okay. So with that offer then, when is that coming in? Because it looks like with the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups, you're both potentially aware of each other. You know, if you're both having faith for something to come in here. There is an issue with trust though. Maybe whether that's trusting yourself or trusting another person. I think that's where the Four of Cups comes in, because it's almost like, yeah, this is a good idea. I'm going to go for it. But then the energy kind of turns around to sort of like, yeah, but what if this happens? What if that happens? You know, that kind of thing. Okie dokie. So, patience, that is key. Patience, but also, you know, there is some alchemy going on here. Things are going on behind the scenes that you're perhaps not aware of, that if you are distracting yourself with work right now, which looks like it's doing really well, if that's your intention at this time, just know that in the background, this is manifesting for you. And Temperance is there to tell you to have that faith, have patience, trust in your faith in the situation. It is on its way. It is coming in. But maybe just try and allow that illumination to show you what is happening there. So let's see if we've got anything for final outcome on here. What is the final outcome? Oh, okay. I'm going to keep that one. So we've got Six of Pentacles on there. Okay, final outcome, because that's not going to come out, is it? Okay, so we have the Six of Swords, which I'm going to talk about this one first of all. So I feel like this is symbolic of taking time away, going travelling. So when I say travelling, I don't mean like you're going to go backpacking around the world or anything like that, but it's taking some time away from this. So that could mean you taking time out from your work, so that you've got that space to sit in your emotional body and see how you're feeling about these things. We also have the Six of Pentacles, which is like an energy of, do you give or do you not give? have or not have. It's like we said before with that hand on the Four of Cups, I do feel like if you are looking to be with somebody here, if there's somebody on your mind within this, I do feel like it's available to you, but you have to make it known that that's what you want. But you're torn because you're sort of like, part of you wants to make an offer, but part of you wants to spend some time in your own space. You know, you're feeling a bit low, you're feeling like you need a period of recovery. It's like you have overworked yourself, which has paid off. I feel like it's, you know, it is paying off. You have a lot going for you on there by the looks of it. But there's a hand there that wants to reach out to you, like somebody wants you to give them something. And the message here is sort of like that purpose. Where is your purpose? Where is your purpose? We have the Fool. So this is just, you know, it's time to take a chance. It's time to pull yourself out of the glump, the feeling of repression, the hiding from it, the holding this secret within you. It's time to just take that chance, have a gamble, step out there. She's holding what looks a bit like an amethyst on there as well, which that makes me think of like dreaming. So what if there's been something happening in your dreams and stuff like that, maybe that has been guiding you towards an event or something that is manifesting for you. I'm going to pick a rune as well that goes with that. So if you do take a chance on this, what rune do we have to go with that? Communication. So yes, it will be met with communication. There is an element of this being something that's reciprocated, I feel, on here. So with that card, have faith, trust your faith in this situation. It's about taking a chance and going for it. Communication will be met. That hand is being put out there to receive and to give. So yeah, I do believe that that is quite fortunate for you. And we have, I can't believe, the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups on there. So that is like the perfect union, basically. A perfect balance of the masculine and the feminine, that emotional fulfillment, love, support. So pile number 3, I will leave your reading there for you. Please do like and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to hear your comments, and if this resonated with you, please do come back and let me know how things went for you. Yeah, and I will speak to you again soon. Have a blessed day.